life is chaotic right now. Make sure I'm going to lose my mind, so I don't want to lose my stuff.
That's the line. Hey there, it's time for another episode of the Better Merch, Better Marketing podcast. As we always do, I am your host, Kirby Hasseman. Your other fine host is the branding bestie herself, Jade Kreider. Jade, how are you today?
I'm doing good. Put my arms up in the air. It's starting to hurt. I'm trying to do push-ups all of a sudden. Apparently, I'm not ready to put my arms up in the air just yet. So we're gonna stop doing that. But I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I am tickled. We'll have to dive into that at some point.
At some point.
Your new goal. Yeah, I'm doing well. May's been a pretty good month so far. Okay, so this is totally random. As I told you, I wasn't fully prepared here, so you're just getting my totally unedited thoughts here today. So here's my thing. Everybody always loves a 3-day weekend, right? And so it's a short week. What I would say is I like 3-day weekends, although I don't mind work and whatever, but I like 3-day weekends when the day off is Friday. I actually don't love them when the day off is Monday because
valid.
I work anyway on Monday. Everybody else is in a bad mood on Tuesday and everybody's behind. So I actually, you can have your Mondays off. So that I'm doing well.
Fridays off on 4. No, yeah. That's a great 4th of July is a Friday this year. So you get your 4th of July will be great. So
yeah. So anyway. Yeah, so I'm doing well. Hey, if you're new around here, we actually talk about stuff other than this. This is the Better Merch, Better Marketing podcast. Our goal is to help you elevate your merch and your marketing. It's brought to you by Hasseman Marketing. You can learn more about us at hassemanmarketing.com. If you head over there, there's tools for your marketing. If you're in the HR department, we've got stuff for you over there, so you can learn more about us there. All right. So let's dive in today. Jade, why don't you lead us off on this first topic and kind of talk to us and I'll make up an answer.
Yeah, so I did a couple topics today that are kind of similar in different ways. Summer is coming, and I think Memorial Day weekend really gets my brain into that. Summer is coming. And so one of the things that I wanted to do that I just thought would be kind of a fun topic for us is just one kind of bucket list item. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a lifelong bucket list, but your summer bucket list item that you're actually hoping to accomplish this summer. Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
I'll go ahead. I wrote down several. And honestly, I think it's one of the things I'm struggling with right now with, if I'm being transparent and kind of candid, is I don't have something that I'm like really super looking forward to, in the sense that, again, I'm looking forward to coming and seeing you. But like that, when people are like, hey, you have a big vacation planned, or do you have this going on?
Yeah, you don't have that.
I don't necessarily have that. From a business perspective, and you know this, but one of my goals is to take July off. And I'm sure people hear that and are like, well, that's great. I'm doing that really from a business perspective because I'm trying to make sure that all our processes are documented, because I think in many businesses, you find out the person at the top is the bottleneck on a lot of things. And so in the book Clockwork by Mike Michalowicz, he talks about scheduling a month off of work, not necessarily because you need a vacation, but because your business needs a vacation from you. And so I'm doing that. I'm going to try to do that successfully. And it's funny. I was talking to Dustin today, Jade, and I'm like, the closer it gets, the more anxious I get. I'm really stressing about it. And so I think I've got a month to get my stuff together for it. I think it's a good exercise for me to go through, but I think if I can get to a place, and that's kind of the point of this, if I can get to a place where the business is running, and not only running, but growing without me, now you have a business. I think so many of us who are entrepreneurs have businesses, but really what we've got is a job, and we have a job with the most unreasonable boss on earth, ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, we have a job that never goes away. And so this is the exercise I'm trying to go through. it's not, and you know this, like I just said, I don't have a big vacation planned. I'm going to come down
Mm-hmm.
and see you guys. I'm going to do some stuff and it'll be fine. But
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I'm more tense about it than any time off
Mm-hmm.
I've ever um,
Mm-hmm.
tried to schedule. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see. I think, and you, I've said I'm probably the biggest impediment to this happening,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Which is
Because
fair.
I'm going to want to work. And
Uh-huh.
so, like, I'm kind of sweating just talking about it, if I'm being
Which
honest.
is hilarious, though, because for those of you who don't know, I am moving this summer to Georgia. He's coming to help me move. That's part. He has that, and then another small trip. That's part of the reason he's taking it off. You do get that you can still check your email if you're helping me move. I will have Wi-Fi set up for you.
I get
I
it,
know
but
the
that's
goal
not
is
the
to not.
point. That's not the point of the exercise. The point of the exercise is to to decouple from the business,
Fair.
and I think that's the part. Yeah, I mean, honestly, working from the road, I do that all the time. That's not the
Right.
point.
I
And
see what you're
so,
saying.
and the
Okay.
idea behind this, by the way, is that when you take a like you take a 5 days off, you take 3 days off, you can kick
Point.
some things down the road to be
Yeah.
like, oh, I'll deal with that next week. If you take a full month off, all the business cycles have to happen. You have to do payroll, you have to do rent, you have to do this,
Mm-hmm.
you have to do that. And so that's the reason that this is the time that they talk about. And so
Mm-hmm.
if I'm in there checking email every day and telling people what to do, it defeats the
Mm-hmm.
point of the exercise. So that's
That's valid.
yeah.
For those of you listening, I don't know that I'm fully prepared for August Kirby because he's going to come back kicking because he's going to be stir crazy by that point. This has already crossed my mind. I'm a little nervous for that day.
Yeah, I got
August 1st, I'm going to be like, no, go back on vacation. I'm over this.
You're not wrong.
Anyways, my summer bucket list item is way less intense than that.
Okay.
We are moving. We're moving to Georgia,
Yeah.
which means we'll be about an hour from the beach, and I want to take my puppy to the beach. That
I
is the
love it.
whole thing. I always said I wanted to take Maverick to the beach. However, I was never willing to take Maverick. I was never willing to pay for a pet-friendly place to take Maverick to the beach because then it's ruining my vacation. But if we live there, I can take him for the day and be home by
Yeah.
that night when I'm ready to murder him. So
Yeah.
I am excited to experience how much I dislike my dog at the beach. No, just kidding.
You know what, though? I think, again, just
He's a good boy.
Maverick is really going to enjoy that and having the ability to run. And one of the things I will say about you, you did a great job in training him. Like, you invested the time, you invested the money, you went to trainers, you did, like, that dog
Went all
listens.
in.
Yeah. And so, you know, as you know, your mother and I have entered a phase of our lives that we don't have a dog. And then on
I
purpose,
moved in
right?
with you.
And then you moved in with me, and not only is Maverick a dog, but he's a big dog, right?
Big
And
boy.
so, yeah, and so while that was an adjustment, because he's so well behaved, it made it good, right? And so now I will say, when that dog barks, it will restart your freaking heart, but it's so he'll do a great job at the beach. That's really what.
Yeah. I had a moment yesterday. Most of you probably don't know this, nor do you probably care, but I've been trying to do a little bit more running stuff, very minimally.
Okay, yeah.
But I took him down to the track. We have a school track right down the road, and I took him down there and was running yesterday, and he usually just runs on a hands-free leash, and there's nobody around. School's out, so I let him off leash. Again, this is a big track with a big grass field. We'll see what happens kind of thing. He was the goodest boy. He ran right beside mama. I kept him and every time there was dogs right on the other side of the fence, I got a little nervous at one point, and I just hit him with a Mavi heel, and he did good. So I have a little bit more faith about the beach, because that's it, is I don't want to keep him on the leash while there's I don't know. It just seems like anyways, I'm excited to take my dog to the beach. That's my excitement for the day. So
I love it. And so just because, so you said you're doing some running, and kudos, right? And I mentioned this. I mentioned this to you. You're like, you were doing some running and doing this, but you started doing push-ups yesterday.
Correct. Yeah. So I've given myself the challenge, aka my husband has challenged me. We have a bet going that I'm going to be able to do. He doesn't think that I can do it within a year. This is how much faith he has in me. Now, it's also important to note I can't do a full push-up. Not one. We saw the video by Mel Robbins on one of her podcasts. She said, she's talking to somebody, and she's like, every woman should be able to do 11 push-ups. And Mel is like, on your knees, and the lady goes, no, 11 push-ups. And I went, my ego got real big. I was like, I got down on the ground, hit the ground, and never came back up. So I decided I need to start doing some push-ups. So my husband challenged me that I have to be able to do 30 push-ups, and they have to be military style. We won't talk about it's not appropriate, but there's an end goal. So once I can hit my 30 push-ups as a summary. So yesterday I was like, I'll just do as many as I can in a day. So today I can't move. I overdid it. And then my dad, Kirby, said, push through, keep doing them, and you'll loosen your muscles up. I've attempted about 6 times today, haven't been able to get back up yet. So with my knees down, can't get up.
So it reminds me, and we're totally off topic, so I apologize, but when I first did P90X, so do you know what P90X is?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
DVD.
Yeah, that's right. It was a DVD fitness program. It's if you've never heard of it, it's so it's 90 days of really, really intense workouts, and they're really awesome. And I remember like the first week, because it's like kind of that thing is like, okay, cool. And you've got these people on TV and they're doing this many. And so you're like trying to keep up with them. And you realize after a couple of weeks that you're like, oh, they've been doing this for months and months and months. This is day one for me. And I remember not being able to scratch my nose like the first day. And so I think that's something that we all fall into. It's like,
well, it's funny. I knew I was overdoing it. I knew it.
Yeah.
I didn't care. I decided it was. I saw a video of some chick that said that she did 100 girl push-ups a day, and then by the end of 30 days, she was able to do 30 regular push-ups. And I was like, I'm gonna get this in 30 days. Here's to hoping it gets less sore.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Sorry.
Okay.
I hijacked it.
Our next topic is going to be kind of our, I guess you could say, pet peeves right now in business. So we'll go ahead. You elaborate.
Yeah. This probably started with me this morning. Full transparency, I think it's been rainy and cold, and I mentioned that the people have been grumpy, and so I'm probably just in a mood. So these are a couple things that are going on right now. We did a pet peeves thing on marketing several episodes ago, and that went over well. So a couple things, and I'll just give my 2 and you give me your 2 cents on it. Okay. So here are my 2 current pet peeves, right? So number 1, communicate. It is remarkable to me how little communication is happening, and that like when things are going sideways is when the communication stops. When that is the opportunity to just over communicate and explain what's going on, so many organizations put their head in the sand, and so then that creates frustration, which kind of it just compounds. So if you have something going sideways, just communicate. Like it very well may suck at first because somebody's going to be mad, they're going to be frustrated and be disappointed. Okay. But if it takes me 2 weeks to get to it, then I'm going to be even more puffed up and angry about it. So that's not rocket science, but that's number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, and this was the one that I started with this morning, is there is all kinds of talk about boundaries and boundaries in business. And we've talked about this, like working from home. And here's my take. No one cares about your boundaries if you don't keep your promises. Like if you are a person who does what they say they're going to do, you make a commitment, you follow through with it, you do those things, you communicate, you get back to people, and then you set boundaries, then most good clients, good employees, good team members will respect it. If you don't do those things and then you say, hey, I'm setting a boundary, no one gives a shit about your boundary. They just want their stuff done that you said you would do. So if you want to have boundaries and have them respected, keep the promises you make to yourself and keep the promises that you make to other people. Otherwise, they're not boundaries. You're just being lazy. There's my rant. And when I said this to Jade this morning, she's like, who are you talking about? And I was like, this person. Like, people are not doing what they say they're going to do right now. And it's making me nuts.
What's funny is I was going in for the tea. I was like, "Ooh, what's the gossip?" And Dad was like, "Everyone is doing it."
Just do what you
I
say you're
will
gonna do.
say, mine is gonna be consistency,
Mm.
which sounds. I have a reason that I say consistency. Um, I have those of you who don't know, I have an ultra human ring that I typically wear on this finger. I was having some issues with the battery, whatever. I reached out. They were kind of pushing back on it at first, which to be fair, I get it. You don't want people reaching out for a new ring. It's an expensive ring just
Yeah.
because. So they wanted to make sure it wasn't working. The issue I was running into with it, and just something it's one of the things I actually struggle with at our office. I struggle to hand stuff off because I am a person who likes consistency. I got handed off to 7 different representatives before someone replaced my rings. So I had to continue to tell them the battery's not working. The battery isn't working. No, I'm telling you, I charged it last night before I went to bed. I got 6 hours of sleep and now it's dead. It's like the ring is supposed to last for a week. Like and then they pass me off to the next person. So mine is kind of and then this is fresh because again, it got replaced this morning. But
clearly we're both on one. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but I say that to say it's honestly, if anybody has any kind of like 2 cents of just like how to handle those moments, and maybe communication is that answer. But I struggle a lot of times to hand stuff off because sometimes you have handed a project to me and then I realize, oh crap, I have too much going on my plate. I need to hand this off, but I don't want to because now they've got a different consistency. And so it's a thing that I struggle with. But in the same token, even just being aware of it, hey, I know you've been bounced around more than once. Let's try and get you an answer
acknowledging it.
Yeah. And so again, over communication comes back to that. But
I will say though, when you were like yesterday, you were frustrated about that, right? And then one person fixed it.
Gotcha, girl.
And it was like, okay, we're good.
Yeah, like and that's it. I love this. I was so frustrated with the lack of response. And frankly, just like they were saying they were going to replace it, but then the next person wasn't going to replace it. And then it was this and then it was that I was literally ready to return the ring altogether and be done with it. I was so frustrated this morning.
Yeah. So in other words, the pet peeves are really frustrating, but then the moment
it's fixed, I'm good.
The cool lesson about this is like, hey, the moment somebody takes accountability in any way, and P.S., this is me looking in the mirror too, because I'm like, okay, how can we do this better? But the moment is like, okay, we'll just fix it, and good things start to happen. So anyway, sorry about my rant, but that was my.
No, I do think it is an interesting thing too, though, because you were talking about it this morning, and you were saying that, and I immediately was like, oh, who did I not respond to? Who didn't I email? So it's one of those where it's like look in the mirror and it's kind of almost re-motivating me to make sure that I am, if nothing else, hey, I'm swamped today. Can I get back to you tomorrow? I need to do better about sometimes those emails make a big difference. So
so this is something, I don't know if we've ever said this on the podcast. So this is something that we talk about as a team a lot. When you are struggling to communicate to give updates, the non-update update is a powerful tool in communication that we've found. And the non-update update is simply saying, hey, just want you to know I'm working on this. Still waiting on an answer, but I'll get back to you. Like that is the non-update update is a communication tool that is like somebody doesn't just feel like they're sitting in the dark. Cool. Jade's on it. Something's happening.
Thinking about it. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So that is, if there's any takeaway, I do think there's some value.
I've had a couple people say that to me, like, "Hey, if I know you're on it, I'm good. I just need to know that it's just not gotten forgotten." Which is, this is actually making me go, okay, mental list. Who all do I need to email as soon as we're done recording? Anyways, fair. I could use to send out some non-update updates. The next one, again, we're kind of back on that summer topic. Again, I'm clearly in that mode. I think we have talked about, especially at our office, I don't know if everybody else struggles with this, but I think it's a universal thing. It now feels like summer, and my motivation rates have dropped to about down here. And so a lot of times in these moments, what I like to do is give myself challenges or give myself like a to-do list reset, like find a new way to have a little to-do list as ways to kind of keep ourselves motivated. And so I kind of wanted to talk about this. I gave myself a challenge and wanted to talk about it partially to hold myself accountable. I wanted to see if you had anything or if I should just start with mine.
I took this as, what are some things that I can do to
Hmm.
um, keep myself motivated during the summer, and so I wrote a couple of those
That's
down.
perfect.
Okay. Because I'm really curious to hear yours, because you said that you didn't want to tell me and you wanted to get my raw thing.
Hmm.
So would you rather do that first or have mine first?
No,
It's
do
really
yours
your.
first because I actually want your tips. I'm here for it. I need the motivation.
Okay, so I'll go through mine really quick,
Okay.
because I don't know. So um, for me, in the summer, the thing that I do well is I'm an early morning person. That works well for me in the summer because it's cool. People aren't doing stuff. After work, I want to get outside. I want to go do fun stuff, right? Like so working like, and my
Smart.
hours are early morning, but doing early morning and being as productive as I can, so that come
Hmm.
2:30, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, whatever it is, I don't feel bad leaving because I've
Uh-huh.
done all the stuff I need to do. So doing
Right.
that. This is a weird one, but it did pop into my head. Is when it comes to what we do, the branded merch side of what we do, we have so much fun stuff, right? So
True.
utilizing outdoors to do sort of product demos.
Mm.
Um, so if we're on the kayak, taking a cooler, taking a tumbler,
Uh-huh.
doing hiking, whatever, that's work, but still fun. So that's number
Uh-huh.
two.
Love that
Um,
one.
and then the final one is just allowing myself, and again, I said this at the beginning of the podcast, I'm like stressing and sweating because I might take time off.
Hmm.
But the idea that allowing myself to rest and recharge sometimes is the most valuable thing I can do. And I
Hmm.
struggle with that. So giving
Yeah.
myself permission to take some time off and do that. So
Hmm.
those were the three that popped in my head. So tell me what it
I
is
really like that.
that I have to give you pushback
Well, first
on.
of all, my first thing that I actually wrote down was to give myself a little bit of grace in June, or July. I mean, I apologize,
Yeah.
July.
Yep.
I'm going to be moving across the country. I
Mhm.
get a little bit of time to take a day or two longer. I have informed everyone that this is happening. I'm going to put it in my signature line that my response time just might be a little bit delayed. We have an internal team that has already been graciously ready to help me.
Yep.
But so giving myself grace is the thing I'm going to try and work on.
Yeah.
But my June thing, because again, I'm not moving yet. My June challenge to myself as like a push to keep myself on is to post every single day in June. I
Hmm.
decided this morning, and it's a little bit of a stretch, but I decided I have been stressing about posting perfect content,
Mm.
editing the video perfectly and wanting it to be right and having the right TikTok sound and posting it on the right day and posting it at the right time so that it doesn't interfere with this. And then I just forget to post it because we had already posted Thirsty Thursday. And I said, screw that. The
Mhm.
challenge is that I have to post every single day, even if it's just on my story, even if it's just a whatever it is. I have to post every single day of June, and then
Mhm.
my hope is that I will start to just share more raw content, like the god
Mhm.
honest truth of, hey Sophie, I'm packing and I just found this really cute scissors, like
Mhm.
whatever. But also, I'm hoping that it becomes a little bit more of a habit for me if I challenge myself to do this for 30 days straight. What's
So
your
you want
pushback? Yeah.
so my feedback is it's going to be easier than you think if you just allow it.
You're
And I mean
probably
that in a good way. What's that?
right. You're probably right.
Well, I think it's one of those things that we think most of the time, especially based on the caveat that you said that I'm not going to worry about it being perfect.
Hmm.
Done is better than perfect in something like this, is that doing it out there, I think it's going to, the algorithm's going to give you positive feedback because
Yeah.
in across platforms, the people who post more tend to get more
Yeah.
feedback that gets shown to more people. So I think the
Uh-huh.
positive feedback will happen. The other thing is the great fallacy I find about content is that you think you're going to run out of ideas. And
Uh-huh.
I find the opposite to be true in this. Not that never it happens, but most of the time, the more you flex your creative muscle, the more it works. The
Mm.
more, if you listen, it's actually, if you've ever interviewed or talked to really truly creative people, they struggle to explain their creative process because
Mm.
it's just who they are. They're constantly looking and seeing things that inspire them. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that when you force yourself to do something like that, ideas are constantly coming because your brain
Mm-hmm.
is looking for it. Your reticular activating system starts to go, "Ooh, that's an idea. That's an idea. That's an idea."
Mm-hmm.
And so my guess is if you do this and you are consistent in doing it, you'll be like, "Actually, that wasn't as hard as I thought." And it may be hard like the first week or two. But I think it'll get easier for you because your brain will turn on to those ideas. And as long as you allow yourself to not be perfect.
Well, and that's my hope is again, I feel like most humans, and specifically everybody in our office at least, I die off in June. My motivation dies off, my energy dies off, and sometimes social media is my way to get boosted back up in all shapes and forms for some reason. I don't know, it just speaks to my brain a little bit better. And so my hope is that the challenge, I was trying to decide what my challenge was, because it's not like, oh, you have to send an email a day. I send 1,000. Social media felt like a fun challenge for me to almost go harder rather than to step off the gas, because that's it, is that I always step off the gas and I need to kind of send it, like, and then just build that habit so that when it gets, to September, I've got that momentum going from June, and it doesn't feel like such a big leap for me. So that's kind of my hope with this one. So my challenge to everyone listening is to give yourself a challenge and hold me accountable to mine. Come follow me on Instagram.
I love it. No, I like it. I think that's a good one, Ben. I like that a lot.
Thanks.
Okay. So now it's time for our product of the week.
It's time. Yeah. Today we are talking about the Trackard from our friends at Rupt. We each have one. Kirby is good and still has the wallet that it came in. I truthfully do not. I think my husband stole it somewhere. The Trackard is my favorite. They have a one-piece minimum, no setups. But this one felt specifically near and dear to my heart right now, because as we are about to move across the country, one of these bad boys is going in that truck, specifically in the most important box that we have. So this is a tracker. So this links to Find My iPhone, whatever it is you use on your system. And it's essentially kind of like an Apple AirTag, but it's made with your imprint on it. Obviously, it's a ginormous imprint area, which is really nice. But I think these are such a unique item that you wouldn't think about. But then, like, I now have one, and now when it's not where I want it, it kind of drives me. My husband was like, "Do you think you can get another so I can put it in my wallet?" Yeah. So it's clearly a favorite in our household.
Well, and what I like about it is once you get one, you start thinking about where you could put it. It goes in non-traditional places. You're moving, so it's top of mind, right? Yes. Whether that's on your backpack, right? Whether you're traveling, obviously, those are the things I think most people think about. Yeah. But I think about like people who rent out equipment. Yes. Like putting it on that, putting it on things that you want to just make sure that you know where it's at. I think you can get really creative on things like that. And so that's it. And our friends at Rupt do a great job. And a couple things about what they do is, number one, they do the one piece minimum, no setup on all the things that they sell. And then, as she mentioned, the dual purpose packaging, right? So not only is the packaging cool, but it's also got second life function. So whether it's a wallet, whether it's all of their products have a second life. So it's the ultimate in sustainability. And so it's, again, not only is the product thoughtful, but the packaging is thoughtful. And so if you are interested in creating something that's sustainable, they have sort of the ultimate in that. Mm-hmm. Right?
But yeah, I was really excited about these. And again, I'm especially excited because of my life is chaotic right now. Make sure I'm going to lose my mind, so I don't want to lose my stuff.
That's the line, right? Like, that's good. All right. That's pretty good. Okay. Okay. Final thing for the podcast. We do a shout out every week. And our goal is to kind of lift up people who are having good moments, do good work, all those sort of things in our region or our area. If you know of anybody that deserves a shout out, please reach out to us and let us know. Right now, it's kind of coming from our circle, but we'd love to branch outside of that if there's somebody that you know, an organization, an individual, whatever. And so today I've got kind of a combo. At lunch today, Amy, my wife, and I went to a cookout, which was a celebration of Joel Jumper. Joel Jumper was the owner of Coshocton Lumber. Coshocton Lumber has been around Coshocton County for, I think, over 100 years. Located kind of in the center of town. It's been a customer of ours, obviously. And so that's great. But Joel just retired. He sold the company, and he's going to have a well-deserved retirement. So a shout out to Joel. He's been a great guy and a great community member as his family for years. But then it's been bought and purchased by Hartville Hardware. Hartville Hardware is now a customer of ours too. And we are really excited about working with them and the impact that that sort of fresh perspective and that fresh blood is going to make on the community as well. Obviously, we're a customer. My wife does renovations and stuff like that. So it's just like all of this sort of comes together. And I mean, literally, we go to the thing for the cookout, and Amy ends up meeting with Mary to discuss the kitchen on a renovation that she's working on right now. So it was a full circle sort of lunch. But a shout out to Joel. Congratulations, Joel. Best wishes on what's next. And then congrats to the Coshocton Lumber Gang, Hartville Hardware Gang. So shout outs all around. Cool.
Yeah, for sure. And if you haven't been to one of the Hartville Hardware stores, they are super cool. So be sure to check one of those out as well. So.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I think we've covered all of the bases. We've gotten some funny stuff. We've gotten some rants, all of the stuff. So Jade, thank you so much for taking the time and kind of putting all of this together and doing the work.
Thanks for having
me. I can't wait to hear about how many push-ups you get done today.
Oh, that hurt.